So we're going to continue our conversation on amendments. And in this module, we're going to be talking about adding or removing budget lines. So we are going to work through doing that process from sort of the ground level. And the first thing we'll need to do is look for an account that already has digital advertising as an active product. If the account does not have advertising, a referral opportunity would instead be sent to the upsell team. So if we find an account that has a digital advertising product, we'll start from there. So from the main account page, we can access the contract by going to the customer products. And then the contracts have their own data table right below, and then we can select the contract of our choosing from that data table. So we're going to choose this first contract here, and then we can see there's a banner message at the top of the contract, and we're going to click amend up here in the right. And now from this menu, we're going to look at the subscriptions. We can see all the different subscriptions associated to this contract. We'll click amend. Once we're on the quote record, we are going to look for the advertising lines for Google, and we're going to go ahead and click the wrench next to that line item. And when we scroll down, we can see that there is ARI, search engine marketing for Google management, and there's a wrench right there. We'll click that wrench. Now we're configuring products, right? And that allows us to delete budget lines by using the trash icon or add budget lines using add options. So there's our trash cans there, and there's our add options button. So to add a budget line, we're going to select the appropriate budget and we'll click add. We'll go ahead and choose the budget. We'll click add. Again, if we wanted to add another one in the same stroke, we could click select and add more. Now we need to add the dollar amount that the dealer wants associated with the new budget line. So we can do that by clicking here under the budget amount. We'll just add 1,000. We'll click out of it, and there we can see the amount. We'll click save. So now back on the quote, we can see the new budget amount. And we can choose the date we want the new budget to go into effect. That would be the start date. To implement a new billing start date, we would use this checkbox, use quote start date. So that would be checked if we wanted to enter a new billing start date. If this is a co-op or a partner program budget, we're going to click the arrow next to the budget line to drop down the additional details. So on the quote editor, we can scroll down to the new budget line item, click the caret to open it, and then we can enter the program, Polaris ad spend. Once we've added the program, we can click save. Then we're taken back to the quote record, and there are banner messages identifying where we need to take action and what needs to be completed. Under the amendment field, we need to identify the type and subtype. If we are adding a new budget, we'd choose upsell. We'll add that. If we were removing a budget, we would choose cancellation. And then we would choose the appropriate subtype. Is it a partial cancellation? If we're adding and removing budgets, we would choose a conversion. And the subtype would be upgrade or downgrade based on the whether the total budget amount is increasing or decreasing. We would check the box for no competitor. We would click Save. Next, we're going to look under the amendment reason, which is under the quote details submenu. And we're going to choose the appropriate option that explains the reason for the addition or cancellation. We'll just say competitor programs, and then in the details we can choose Polaris shift to digital. And then we need to move to the approval information. The approval justification, we'll have to provide additional details about what we're adding or canceling. This information will be used when reviewing the quote to ensure it was completed correctly. It's also helpful to understand cancellations better. Remember, you don't need to provide billing notes in this section as that team is not involved in this process. Once those are entered in, we'll click Save. We may need to refresh to clear out all the red messages at the top. And then we'll click Save. And most of our red messages are gone. We do still need a primary contact email, which we can go add in through the related contacts on the account. Go here. We see the primary is we'll go ahead and make sure that email is in there. Save. Now at the top of the quote record, we'll hit preview approval. Once you've looked at the stages of approval, you can then know that the approval process is going to happen. Eventually, you'll get an email notifying that something's been approved. Once that quote is approved, you can then generate and send an updated contract to the dealer if needed. And that would start from the Generate Document button. When that document is approved, the status will change to approved. I can do that because I have admin role and responsibility in Salesforce, but when a quote does get approved, you'll see an approved status update, and then from there you can generate a document. And this is where you would start sending the updated contract to the dealer if it was necessary. And there is a whole guide on sending with DocuSign on the SharePoint page that you can access to walk you through those steps. Essentially, what that will obtain in an ideal world is a customer signature on a contract. Once that signature is obtained, you can then win the opportunity, because we don't have a signed contract in this example, but we would be able to win eventually once that signature comes in. Once that customer signature comes in, we would then move the status of the opportunity into propose negotiate, and we would click mark stage is complete. Salesforce will let us know the stage has changed successfully. And now in the review stage, we need to do a few things. We need to complete the fulfillment notes. This is going to be any useful notes to the fulfillment team that will be processing the takedown or takedowns. Takedown tasks will be sent to those teams on the billing start date. If you need services stopped before then, you should submit a billing request for suspension. Once those notes are added in, we'll go ahead and click Save, and then we'll mark the stage as complete. So we put our notes in, click Save, and then we'll mark that stage as complete. And then we'll use closed one to put the changes into effect. If at some point we don't want to make these changes or the opportunity is in an error, we should lose the opportunity. Nothing will change with the account products or billing if we lose it. We then save. Salesforce says, hey, the stage has been changed, and then confetti falls from the sky, and we're ready to move forward.